No, because I think they weren't all on the same page for the last 12 months. Robert had a coach. Some of the other members of the organization, I'm not sure we're all in on Gerard Mayo. I think they are all in on Mike Vrabel right now. Doesn't mean it's going to work.
Okay.
Could fail miserably.
It
I have
sure
no
could.
idea. But I believe they are all in on who the leader of the organization is, the face, the football guy, the press conference, everything. And I thought Vrabel he spent a lot of time talking about organizational employees and giving you what you need to help the players.
Right.
He admits the players are the most important thing, but you're really important to getting them to succeed. And he talked about, he even at one point said, and I've asked Robert, and I've talked to Robert, if I was in that organization still, I'd be like, we getting raises? Sounds like he's getting us raises.
Nice.
Mike, are you getting us raises right now? So I loved it.
Bullies the crafts into paying everybody more money.
Whatever, right? Imagine if he did that. If he's like, in Tennessee, we paid the web guy like twice that, Robert.
Yeah.
At least give him a little bump.
That's great. I'd rather he bully the ownership into purchasing better players. That'd be what I'd prefer.
Oh, he said that too.
Over that. That's what I'd like to see him do.
Did you hear the part where he said our first step is to take advantage of the mistakes of others? And then he goes, I'm not sure we're there yet.
Right.
He understands his team stinks.
Yeah.
He's quite well aware that this team is flawed in terms of its talent. I will say
You think he's annoyed that he agreed to this and that the Cowboy job just opened up?
No, absolutely not.
Just a little bit being like,
Nope.
ooh, that Cowboy team could be good.
Because I don't think he'd last 10 minutes with Jerry Jones.
No?
Because he doesn't have a unique, special relationship there.
True.
I think they would butt heads very quickly.
Probably, yeah.
That would not go well. But the thing so just painting the picture, if I'm down boots on the ground, might as well paint some pictures.
Sure.
A lot of media in attendance. A lot of them got there really early. If you wanted to ask a question, apparently our boy Mike Giardi got there 90 minutes early.
Wow.
So I wasn't willing to invest that much in the boots on the ground aspect of the day.
He took a lot of questions, too.
He did.
There was a good amount of questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Endeared himself to everybody, as everybody does, by being nice to Karen. Remember Gronk on the Zoom?
Karen,
Absolutely.
how'd you get in there? Well, you're in my computer.
So I thought he did a good job with Karen. You should have gone first. You haven't aged at all. Like, he plays the game well. There weren't, based on my eyes, I saw David Andrews and Joe Cardona.
And no other players.
I didn't see any other players.
What about past players?
Well, past players that work there are there.
Okay, because when Mayo was announced, there was a lot of past and present
Troy
players
Brown was
that were
there.
Okay.
Andre Tippett was there.
He's
Kinda
around,
works
but
there.
yeah.
Robin Glazer was there.
Okay. Hammer in hand?
No hammer.
No hammers.
Nope. She was just sitting there, second row behind the Vrabel family.
Taking notes for Jonathan, I'm sure, who was
not there or not seen. Maybe he had a good disguise on or something if he wanted to hang out closely. I also thought it was interesting.
There was a cardboard emergency over at the factory.
That was another good thing they did. They didn't even mention it. He wasn't in the press release. They didn't make an excuse up or say, wow, we got other meetings.
He really wanted to be here, you guys. He really did. He
Right.
just had to go deal with the cardboard boxes.
Right.
It's as people have to do.
I thought.
But now, by the way, Jonathan has not been there for the Belichick firing, the Mayo hiring, the Mayo firing, or the Vrabel hiring.
And to be fair,
he hasn't been there for any of them.
The only one that they promoted him for was the Mayo hiring.
Right.
If you remember, he was on the original press release
Yes.
thing. Since then, whatever the narratives have been and done, he's kind of now, I guess, back in the shadows doing whatever he did. I thought Robert did a smart job of kind of getting in and getting out. Mm-hmm. He's getting older. He's not as good at these things. Hell, people used to make fun of him 25 years ago. Right. Remember early on, probably his first AFC title game when he took the trophy, people were like, is he drunk? Is he slurring his words?
Yeah.
They didn't know. And then we realized, that's just kind of how he talks. It's the way about him. But I thought he did a good job getting in, getting out.
Just think it's a lot of press conferences in 1 year. Belichick got fired on January 11th of last year. Yep. And we've had how many all these press conferences since then? It's just there was
two that day. If you remember, the one with Bill. Yeah. Then there's the one where we ask questions.
Right.
Then there was the long Mayo one.
Then there was Mayo fired. He wasn't there for that, obviously, but that was just last week. And now here we have the Vrabel one. So
and we had
it's a lot of press conferences,
media availability at the owners' meetings too, right? In March.
Yes,
I believe so.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of it. The most notable thing to me isn't the coordinators. I'll be honest, I think Josh McDaniels probably going to be the offensive coordinator, and I think he'll probably hire a good enough defensive coordinator. I have faith.
Do you know something, or are you going by what everyone else is saying?
No. I'm just kind of going by everything else. But we trust his Rolodex. He's been around. A name I will throw out there, if it's not Josh McDaniels, and I think I've told you this before because you don't like him because he's nepotism baby, is Wes Phillips.
Oh, yeah.
From the Vikings tree, from the Bum Phillips tree, literally. Just a name to keep an eye on that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about because we've had the Tommy Reese, we've had all these others.
I don't have a huge problem, like Nepo baby, when they go and work for their dad, that's when I get annoyed.
Okay.
By it. But like that wouldn't
So
be
he's
the
with
case
Kevin
here.
O'Connell, then we can come here, and he's boom. He's like two jobs away from his dad.
Well,
at the very least.
McDaniel's not in Vrabel's Rolodex. They didn't work together.
Well, he coached him.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, not him specifically.
Well, sometimes,
because he was a tight end.
He did,
So, he
sure he
coached
did.
him.
Yeah.
So, they crossed each other's Rolodex. But Vrabel has a big Rolodex. He's been around.
Right.
He talked about that, his journey. He thanked everybody. I also found it interesting. I didn't know the story, and I'd like to get this. So, Greg Hill, if you're listening, Wiggy, Courtney, anybody, Chris Curtis, the story of his interview with Urban Meyer that he said is the worst
that he's ever done, yeah.
And they gave him a redo 8 hours later. I'd like to know the story of, because he clearly got a redo because his name's Mike Vrabel.
Right.
Everybody else would have been put on the shredder, like shredded resume, no longer thought of. I didn't know that story. I'd like to know more about that. But to me,
I wonder if it was something he said or if he walked in and farted or something. What
maybe,
I mean?
or was ill prepared, thought he was Mike Vrabel and could just.
I can say anything I want. Yeah.
You're actually going to ask me questions? I didn't study your linebackers. I just assumed you'd be wowed by the fact that I'm Mike Vrabel. I'm a Super Bowl champion and all-pro, and I went to school here.
Right.
Isn't that enough?
I was just going to flex my muscles, and hopefully that was it. Yeah.
What else do I need? You're asking, real questions of me. Speaking of real questions, the question from Giardi about the power structure, essentially, do you have roster say? Elliott Wolf, he referenced a number of times, certainly seemed like they're going to be working together, that Elliott Wolf is staying. There's been this report by Charles Robinson that Ryan Cowden is coming.
Right.
And I said to you off air as we were getting ready to come on, as far as I know, Matt Groh is still around. So are we going to have the guy who had the power 2 years ago, the guy who had the power last year, and now the guy who might be the right-hand man of the coach who might have all the power? That was my takeaway. I think Vrabel has final say. I think he got final say. I think the negotiations, remember when they were talking about negotiations over the weekend? I bet your final say might have been in there.
Maybe. Or maybe it's just being left unsaid, and the Crafts are sort of letting it be the rules of the jungle. You know what I mean? Who's going to...
Well, he's going to win then. He's massive.
That's what I'm saying. Who has the strongest personality?
Absolutely.
He's going to stuff Elliott Wolf in a locker anytime that there's a dispute, wouldn't you think?
What about Alonzo Highsmith?
What about him?
That's a fight I'll pay to see.
I would too, actually, yeah. Although
because Alonzo Highsmith, I was told, actually did some boxing.
He was like
career.
A pro boxer. Yeah.
Oh yeah, my money's on him then because he's pretty big too, and I bet you Vrabel doesn't know how to box.
But what's his job?
I don't know.
In the front office, what exactly? Is he on par with Elliott Wolf or what? That's a good question.
Okay, so you added another voice, and you just want to let him fight it out. It's now a Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
It's like a tag
What I'm
match.
saying is that if you're going to leave Wolf in place, if you're going to leave, is Matt Groh still going to be here too? By the way, that's a question I'd like to know.
I didn't see him.
Okay,
I did not see him. I didn't specifically really kind of seek him out.
If you're leaving Wolf in the position that he's in,
yes,
because Vrabel mentioned Wolf about a dozen times today.
He talked about
him
to get good
over
players
and over again. Yeah, which I thought was pretty funny.
You think Gerard never said that? Maybe that was the problem.
It's like, listen, Elliott. Just get players. They don't have to be good. Just get whoever. Just get a guy who's been on a football field. He wore the helmet. He wore the cleats.
I'll coach him.
They don't have to be good.
I'll build a relationship with him.
Let's just fill out this roster, all right? And Vrabel with this bold new idea. But, yeah, he mentioned Elliott Wolf several times.
Yeah,
Talked about, we're going to get started. This is the thing that's going on here. I've already talked to Elliott about it. When they mentioned Cowden, they brought up Wolf right away. And I think that for better or for worse, this is going to be the arrangement, at least for the first year, is you're going to see these guys working together. And one big thing that Mayo talked about in his introductory press conference was knocking down the silos, remember? And everybody getting together and working together and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like hiring Vrabel that's not a natural fit for him. Maybe that was easy for Mayo because he was new on the job and he needed help and he needed people sort of holding his hands in different aspects of things, not having done it before. That's not Mike Vrabel.
No.
Mike Vrabel you're going to fix him up with Elliott Wolf and they're going to be a team and that's just going to work. What's going to happen there. It's the jungle, the big guy's going to bully the little guy. That's what's going to happen, yeah.
I think Reese even has already alluded to, or somebody else, that Elliott is a scout first, so he might even be open to the idea of a quote-unquote demotion, same title but less power. If it works, I think it has to be in writing, though. I think there has to be a known hierarchy. If you leave it to the survival of the fittest, I think that's a recipe for disaster.
I think it could be. It certainly could be.
Unless you win. If you win, everybody's fine.